On Halloween night, the pumpkin head entered an empty house and walked straight into a room. Everything inside felt deeply familiar, for he had lived here when he was alive. Every Halloween, a pumpkin monster appears in the town. For the residents' happiness, all 18-year-old young men must participate in the hunt. The one who can kill the pumpkin monster will receive a generous reward. Jim was last year's champion. When he drove away from the town, he never imagined he would return, let alone as the pumpkin monster himself. Looking at the room where he grew up, Jim was filled with despair. Anger then surged within him, burning everything in the room to ashes. The towering flames immediately caught the attention of all the young men, who rushed excitedly toward the pumpkin monster's location. But Richie suddenly found the pumpkin monster right in front of him. He pulled out his gun and charged forward, only to stop just as he was about to pull the trigger. He had seen the monster's belt. It was the gift he had given his older brother Jim. The pumpkin monster seemed to retain a trace of consciousness and had no intention of hurting him. But then a gunshot rang out suddenly. Someone had shot the pumpkin monster from behind. Richie hurried to support him and moved him to the steps. A group of young men heard the commotion and rushed over, all eager to kill the monster for the reward. To protect his brother, Richie pulled out his gun and confronted the others. But the monster grabbed his hand, pointed the gun at himself, and pulled the trigger to commit suicide. According to the rules, Richie became this year's winner, but he couldn't feel happy at all. Soon, the town awarded Richie the prize, and he had to leave the town as required. But he hadn't driven far when police cars roared and pulled him over. Richie realized what was happening. The police then took him to a cornfield, all the way to a cross. This was the final destination of every champion. But just then, Richie suddenly pulled out his gun and shot the officer dead. He was determined to end this terrible game and avenge his brother Jim. Suddenly, Richie was hit on the head with a stick and fell into a pit in front of him. An old man then took out a hammer, jumped into the pit, and smashed it down despite Richie's pleas for mercy. Finally, he covered the pit with a shovel. When Halloween came around again the next year, the old man dug up Richie's body, tied him to the cross, and put on a pumpkin head. Before long, the head merged with Richie, and a new pumpkin monster was born.